Welcome back to our 7th session of Art as Therapy. I'm Yoko. In the last session, we explored how art making can help us to raise our self-awareness. One of the ways to build self-awareness is through the practice of self-reflection. Today, we'll be exploring more of that and how to make meaning through our art. Self-reflection is a process that considers the various aspects of the self, such as our habits, feelings, actions, or behavior, and tries to understand the reasons and meanings behind them. There are many ways to practice self-reflection, and there is no one-size-fits-all solution. The only thing you need is to make time to reflect. Self-reflection can be practiced in many layers, from a basic to a deeper level. The practice of self-reflection can be affected by various factors, such as our readiness to know about ourselves and to deal with self-awareness, our health and life situations, and our intentions. In art as therapy, self-reflection can be practiced by the art maker in many different ways. One of the ways is to ask questions while having conversations with the artwork. Here are some examples for you to practice self-reflection. Firstly, visual journaling. The use of a journal can help to express and record our experiences, feelings, and emotions. You can use both images and text to express yourself, as this will increase our resources for self-reflection. Secondly, silent contemplation. The act of looking at an artwork in solitude allows us to process complex thoughts, intentions, or goals. During these moments, we open ourselves up to experiences of beauty and novelty. Thirdly, have a personal dialogue. Be honest to your artwork, talk to it, and imagine how it will respond to you. Record these conversations in writing. Fourthly, active imagination. When you look at your artwork, what do you see? Write down or draw out all these images or feelings. Lastly, make a date to return to your artwork. Visit your artwork on a different day or time. You may also invite someone you trust to look at your artwork together. Record these feelings and thoughts about the artwork during these visits. In the therapeutic context, art therapists, psychoanalysts, or authors in the field of art as therapy, such as Sean McNiff, Barbara Fish, Bruce Moon, Pat Allen, and Ellen D. Botton, has suggested various ways to have a reflective dialogue with our artworks. You may consider asking these questions to have a personal dialogue with your artwork. Before we explore the ways to make meaning, you may wonder why we want to search for meaning or make one. This topic on its own will lend itself beyond the discussion of art into philosophy, spirituality, humanity, and psychology. The significance of finding meaning is for you to discover. In our previous session, we learned that art making can help us to become more self-aware and allows us to connect our life experiences, feelings, and unconscious mind. Similarly, it is a powerful tool to search for meanings of our life. Firstly, tell stories or make metaphors about your artwork. Visualize the artwork as a living thing, perhaps a person or a character. Describe in detail how the artwork comes to life and its feelings and emotions. Think about how it relates to your own life. In this way, you can distinguish if the story belongs to us, our relationship with others, or others. Secondly, see your artwork as a mystery. Be curious and have an open mind while exploring your artwork. Meanings are not linear, and they have many multiple layers and travel in different directions. An artwork may resonate with our waking lives, or it may also come from our dreams or our unconscious mind. When you chance upon a connection, explore it deeper. Thirdly, be creative and imaginative. Imagine your artwork in different scenarios, time or space. How would you communicate with your artwork? For example, if you sense that the artwork is feeling sad, what would you do to cheer it up? By role-playing with your artwork, you can express and experience different emotions and experiences. Fourthly, accept your artwork with an open heart and empathy. Embrace the randomness, emptiness, or nothingness. When you create an artwork that shows a large empty space, it may appear to you that there's nothing there and therefore it is a lack of meaning. However, you can reflect on your feelings about the nothingness or how the emptiness relates to you. You must also embrace artworks which can be upsetting, scary, or overwhelming. There is no right or wrong, bad or good feelings. They are all our feelings. Accept them as they are, hold them in a safe space, and revisit them at a time that is most comfortable to you. Lastly, be open-ended. Asking open-ended questions about your artwork is more meaningful than trying to rationalize it with a meaning. The moment you make a definitive meaning to an artwork is the moment the artwork ceases to be alive. Let your artwork breathe and grow, and in time, its meaning will unfold. In this way, you can distinguish if the stories belong to you, your relationship with others, or others. Similarly, it is a powerful tool to search for the meaning of our life. So this activity, we are going to use some paper as a major material, and then you can also look around at your space, whether you have some existing containers like a flower vase or a plant pot, like different sizes of plant pots, or even some recycled materials like a tin or a can, metal can. This activity is to change the material form or the look of this vase. This vase is made of glass. I'm going to change it into paper mache outlook. So in the first step, you can use some cling wrap. The purpose of putting the cling wrap is for us to release this paper mache later if you are going to use it again. So first, you use the cling wrap to wrap over the vase. Make sure every part of the vase is covered with the plastic. So after you have put this in, you can put it down. And then you'll prepare some recycled paper that you can get from any old magazines, books, or newspaper. Tear them into strips, okay? Or even small pieces. It doesn't matter about the size. The smaller pieces will give you the smoother surface of the final artwork. So prepare the glue, and then you can pour the glue here. And if you like, you can also put a piece of paper or a cloth under your object so that it can help you to contain the mess. You can start to dip these paper pieces into the glue, and then you can start to paste them onto your vase. So now you can see that the more curvature the container you are using, you may use smaller pieces to form that curve better, all right? And this is a process itself. It's a therapeutic process that you are engaging your sensation, your body, and while you are forming this vase, you can also reflect about the vase, its function, its use. The layering is like the process of life. There are many, many layers of meanings. As the process goes, you'll find that the object is quite wet, and so you don't need to dip all the pieces into the medium. You can just paste the new pieces of paper on top, because the under layers is already quite wet. So you can have 1 or 2 layers that you don't really need to dip into the glue, all right? I have finished the paper mache part of this activity. Now it is still wet from the base to the side to the top and the opening. So you can just leave it to air dry. For this type of paper mache work, because the container is kept inside, so you don't really need many layers of paper. You just basically need to cover the original material, and then you have a new skin for this vase. After it's dry, you can even do some painting if you like. You can paint over with your favorite color, make it a personalized container for yourself. This is our second activity today, exploring making paper beads. What would you need is very simple and basic. First of all, you need to have some kind of sticks. It can be a chopstick, a toothpick, popsicle stick, or anything that comes in a long, in a rod shape. Second, you will need paper. Okay, so paper, you can get the paper from recycled paper magazines or books. Third, the tools you will need is a ruler, a penknife or scissors, and a cutting mat. In the case of using a scissors, you don't really need that cutting mat. And we'll need some glue. All right, glue. You will have a plate to hold the glue, and then you can use cotton bud or maybe an old paintbrush for you to apply the glue. We are going to make the paper bead. For instance, you get a piece of paper. What we are going to prepare is this kind of triangles. We have a wider base and then a narrower tip here. For me, I'll just do it like very spontaneously. I'll just cut. Okay. And then roughly, this is the center. So roughly I'm going here, right? This is the shape that you're going to make to create the paper bead. So after you have this triangle, you will put a stick. I'm using a saute stick for this. The choice of this stick will affect the size of the hole in the end. So for instance, you can see some kind of beads have a bigger hole in the middle, whereas other kinds may have a smaller hole. So basically, the diameter of this hole is the diameter of this rod that you are using. At the edge of the wider base of the triangle, so you start to roll it, roll the paper and the stick together. After you have overlapped for the first round, you just hold it tight and then move it all the way to the other end. When you have rolled up to nearer to the end of this, you can apply the glue using either a cotton bud or a paintbrush. Okay, and you continue to roll and you can just leave it up from the saute stick, and then you have a very long paper bead. Here I've got a gray paper bead, and you see from the paper that I have chosen, it also reveals some of the text, some of the images, some of the forms, and it created a pattern for itself. So the process is really a very natural, spontaneous process. So I'd also like to share with you, if you don't have a cylindrical rod, you can also use this kind of popsicle sticks. Although it is not a cylindrical form, you can also make your paper bead. So now I have created some paper beads, and they're of different colors, different texture, and different sizes, different lengths, different feelings, different touch. So for connecting the beads, you can use different types of connecting materials, like this kind of nylon thread, or sewing thread, fishing lines, or metal wire. The diameter of these connecting materials would have a relationship with the diameter of the holes. So if you're using, for example, a toothpick, then the hole will be smaller, so you will need something thinner to connect the beads. So I'm going to use this nylon thread to connect the beads. I would like to invite you to do maybe a self-reflection process, thinking about these beads as different generations in your life. How is the relationship and the connection like with these different generations? So when you are arranging these beads, you can think of these people in your life, these different relationships. Find the beads that resonate with these relationships or people. So now I have finished making these paper beads and connected them into a chain. So I hope you would enjoy this activity, and I hope that through this activity you can do some self-reflections on your relationships with others and also yourself. We have come to the end of today's session. To summarize, we have explored the practice of self-reflection and how to make meaning through our art. We have also learned 2 therapeutic art activities using paper craft. May art open another door for you to see the meaning of life. See you next time.